Ever since I can remember, my parents have compared me to my older sister. She's the golden child, perfect grades, perfect sports medals, perfect smile for every family photo. At dinner, my mom talks about my sister's latest award, barely glancing at my report card. I worked hard, but my B in math feels invisible next to her A+. Dad pats my sister's back, calling her the pride of the family. I sit quietly, hiding the sting behind a polite smile and pushing food around my plate. Every family gathering turns into a highlight reel of her achievements. I'm the silent extra in my own life, clapping for someone else's spotlight. At school, teachers who know my sister expect me to be just like her, same grades, same attitude, same everything. I feel like I'm wearing her shadow as a uniform. I join the school art club, hoping to find something that's truly mine. My sister hates art, so maybe here, I can finally breathe without comparison. My first painting gets chosen for the school exhibition. For once, my name, not my sister's, is on a poster in the hallway. I feel a spark of pride. At home, I tell my parents the news. Mom smiles politely, but quickly changes the subject to my sister's upcoming debate competition. The spark in my chest dims. My art feels small compared to trophies and certificates that line the living room shelves. I keep painting late at night when everyone sleeps. The quiet brush strokes feel like my own secret applause, even if no one else hears it. One day, my art teacher announces a big inter-school art contest. The winner will have their work displayed in the city gallery. My heart races. I sign up immediately, determined to give it everything. This is my chance to show my parents I'm more than a comparison to my sister. The theme is freedom. I decide to paint a girl breaking out of a giant glass jar, light pouring in around her. For days, I pour my soul into the canvas. My fingers cramp, my clothes get stained, but I've never felt more alive. My sister watches me work, leaning against the doorway. "It's nice," she says, "but it's not like art will get you anywhere." Her words sting, but I pretend not to hear. I keep painting, letting her doubt fuel my determination instead of killing it. The night before the contest, I cover my finished piece with a cloth. It's the best thing I've ever created. The next morning, I wake up early to prepare. My heart pounds with excitement and nervousness as I get ready to bring the painting to school. When I lift the cloth, my stomach drops. The canvas is ruined, splashes of black paint across the figure's face and streaks tearing through the background. Tears blur my vision. I know exactly who did this, but I can't prove it. My sister's smirk over breakfast tells me enough. I skip breakfast and run to school with the ruined painting, unsure if there's any point in showing up at all. In the empty art room, I stare at the mess. My teacher walks in, eyes widening at the damage, and asks what happened. I mumble something about an accident. I don't want to drag my family into this. My pride already feels shattered enough. She hesitates, then hands me spare supplies. "You still have 3 hours before submissions close. If you want to try again, I'll stay and help." Hope flickers. I take a deep breath, grab a blank canvas, and start painting with every ounce of energy I have left. My hands fly, strokes faster than I thought possible. The new piece isn't perfect, but it carries more emotion than the original ever did. The girl in this painting isn't just breaking free, she's running, hair wild, eyes forward. She's me. I finish just minutes before the deadline. My teacher smiles and helps carry the wet painting to the judging hall. Standing among dozens of incredible artworks, I feel small but proud. For once, my effort feels like it's mine alone. When the judges arrive, I step back, watching them study each piece. They linger at mine longer than I expect. My stomach twists. I can't tell if they're impressed or just puzzled. My heart thumps loud enough to drown out the room's quiet chatter. Hours later, the winners are announced. Third place goes to a boy from another school. Second place goes to a girl with a stunning sculpture. First place, my name. My ears ring. For a moment, I think I misheard, but my classmates are cheering and pushing me forward. I walk to the stage on shaky legs, accepting the certificate and hearing the applause. It's mine. not my sister's mine. Photos are taken. My painting will hang in the city gallery next month. I can hardly breathe from the rush of joy and disbelief. Back home, I place the certificate on the living room table. Mom glances at it, then says, "That's nice. Your sister's debate is tomorrow, remember?" The sting returns, but it's softer this time. I've already proven something to myself. Their approval feels less like a necessity and more like a bonus. My sister barely looks at the certificate. I notice the tightness in her jaw when I mention the gallery display. That night, I hang my own photo of the winning painting above my desk. It's my reminder that my worth isn't measured by comparison. Days pass. My parents talk endlessly about my sister's debate win, but my classmates keep congratulating me on my art whenever they see me. I realize that recognition doesn't always come from family, it can come from those who see the effort and passion behind the result. At the gallery opening, strangers admire my work. One woman tells me it feels alive. My heart swells more than it ever did from grades or trophies. I spot my art teacher smiling proudly from across the room. That look means more than any casual good job from my parents. My sister attends the opening, staying quiet the whole time. I catch her studying the painting longer than she'd admit. Later that night, she knocks on my door, hesitates, and says, "It's really good. I didn't think you could pull it off. The apology is clumsy, but it's something." I nod, choosing not to bring up the ruined first painting. Weeks later, I get invited to join a youth art program. It feels like the first step toward building a life that's truly mine. Mom still compares me to my sister sometimes, but the words hit softer now. I know my path is different, and that's okay. I focus on my own progress, filling sketchbooks with ideas and letting each piece tell my story, not my sister's, not anyone else's. The comparisons still happen, but they no longer define me. I've learned the most important approval comes from within. At school, a new art project is announced, and my teacher encourages me to lead a small group. For the first time, I'm seen as capable beyond grades. My group members treat me with respect, asking for my ideas and actually listening. It's a sharp contrast to the constant overshadowing I feel at home. We decide to create a mural about individuality. The concept feels personal, every brushstroke a quiet rebellion against being compared to someone else. When the mural is revealed, students and teachers gather to admire it. It's colorful, bold, and unlike anything else in the hallway. Even the principal stops to compliment our work. I feel warmth in my chest, the kind that lingers long after the applause fades. At home, my sister casually mentions the mural at dinner. Mom raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, that's nice," before changing the topic to exam results. I realize in that moment that no matter what I do, some people will always measure me by someone else's yardstick. Instead of feeling crushed, I feel strangely free. If their standards are unreachable, then I might as well live by my own. The art program sends an email about a regional youth exhibition. My teacher suggests I submit a piece, reminding me how much my work moved the judges before. I accept, but this time I don't do it to impress my parents. I do it because painting makes me feel alive. I start working on a piece that reflects my journey, two figures walking separate paths under the same sky, both lit by different colors of light. Each night, the painting grows more vibrant. The figures are distinct but equal, a silent message to anyone who insists one is better than the other. My sister visits my room again, watching me work without saying much. I notice her expression softening, like she's seeing me as more than just the younger one. Before the exhibition, she surprises me by offering to help transport the painting. Her tone is awkward but sincere, as if trying to bridge an unspoken gap. At the event, she stays by my side while strangers comment on the depth and emotion in my work. Her quiet presence feels different this time, less competitive, more supportive. The judges don't announce winners right away. Instead, they spend time talking to each artist. I find myself explaining my story without fear of judgment. When they finally reveal the results, I don't place in the top 3. Oddly, I'm not disappointed. My work still hangs proudly among so many talented pieces. My sister nudges me, saying, "You know, it's still my favorite one here." It's the kindest thing she's ever said to me. On the ride home, I stare out the window, feeling a mix of contentment and relief. Recognition from her means more than I expected. The next week, my art program hosts a community workshop. I volunteer to teach younger kids basic painting techniques, enjoying their excitement as they mix colors and experiment. One little girl tugs my sleeve and says, "I want to paint like you someday." My chest feels full, like my work has purpose beyond personal validation. Back at school, my grades remain steady, not perfect like my sister's, but mine. I stop hiding my report card, knowing it doesn't define my worth. During a family gathering, an aunt asks about my future. Before I can answer, Mom starts talking about my sister's plans. I let her finish without resentment. When the conversation circles back to me, I confidently talk about my art exhibitions and workshop experiences. For once, no one interrupts. Some relatives seem impressed. Others don't understand. I realize not everyone has to get it for it to matter. Later that night, I overhear my sister defending me to a cousin, saying, "She's really talented, you know. She works hard for what she does." Hearing her say that feels like a quiet victory, one built slowly through persistence rather than confrontation. Months pass. My parents still compare us sometimes, but my sister and I start having more genuine conversations, sharing advice instead of competing. I notice she begins mentioning my achievements in front of our parents, forcing them to acknowledge them, even if briefly. The comparisons lessen over time, not because they disappear, but because they stop affecting me the same way. Another contest comes up, and I decide to enter with no pressure, no expectations, just for the joy of creating. My piece this time is abstract, full of wild shapes and colors that make me smile every time I look at it. When it's displayed, some people don't understand it, others love it. I find joy in both reactions. Art doesn't have to please everyone. After the show, my parents tell me it's interesting. It's not glowing praise, but it's the most genuine comment they've given my work so far. My sister snaps a photo of me with my painting, sending it to her friends. It's a small gesture, but it feels huge. I keep painting, joining small markets and selling a few pieces. Each sale feels like a reminder that my passion has value outside of family approval. One buyer tells me my work reminds her of her childhood. The fact that my art can spark memories in strangers feels like the real reward. The art program invites me to speak at their next event, sharing my journey with other young artists who feel overlooked or overshadowed. Standing on stage, I see nods in the crowd. My words resonate, and for once, I feel completely understood. After the talk, several students thank me, saying they feel less alone. It's a kind of achievement no trophy could ever replace. At home, I hang a collage of my favorite works. Each one represents a moment where I chose myself over comparison. Mom walks past the collage, pausing to look at it longer than usual. She doesn't say anything, but I catch a faint smile. Dad asks about my next project during dinner. It's a small question, but it feels like acknowledgement. My sister tells me she's thinking of trying painting as a hobby. I offer to teach her, genuinely curious to see what she'll create. Our first session is awkward but fun. We laugh at messy brushstrokes and swap ideas like equals rather than rivals. For the first time, I feel like we're two different people with different strengths, and that's okay, more than okay. It's good. I realize I no longer paint to prove myself. I paint because it fills me with peace and joy. The comparisons that once felt like chains are now just background noise. My life has become my own. I stand in front of my latest piece, smiling at how far I've come from the quiet girl in the shadow to an artist with her own light. And in that moment, I know I've broken free, not from my sister's achievements, but from the need to measure mine against hers.